You're a passport bro. You want to date and possibly marry quality women in other countries that you cannot find in your home country. Unfortunately, most of the quality women reside in dangerous countries. In your home country, if you call the cops on a violent offender, they'll generally come and save you. In a third world country, the cops won't come to save you, and sometimes the cops are the criminals. So, if you cannot depend on the police, how do you keep yourself safe in a third world country? The best self-defense advice that anybody can give you is to not be there. In other words, don't go at stupid times with stupid people doing stupid things, cause if you do stupid, you'll win stupid prizes like death. For example, I would avoid going out after midnight. Most violent crimes happen between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. You should think about going home at 11 p.m. and plan on being home by midnight. Second, you should avoid bars. Drunk people are violent people. Finally, every group of friends has this one guy who likes to start trouble. Don't invite that guy next time y'all go out. If you avoid these 3 rules of stupid, you'll probably never have anything violent happen to you. A lot of subscribers have asked me to night game with them, and I always turn them down. I only do day game and never night game because it breaks the rules of stupid. Going out to bars to meet girls will put you in contact with alcohol at night with violent and crazy people that tend to hang out in bars. Lots of guys like to hang out in bars because drunk girls offer less resistance. My game is tight, so I don't depend on alcohol to get women, and I suggest that you don't either, unless you want to have women falsely accuse you of. It may not have happened to you this time, or next, or even the 20th time you sleep with a drunk girl, but eventually you're going to bump into a girl who will drag you into a courtroom where you're automatically presumed guilty until you prove yourself innocent. I know, it's not fair and you're not doing anything illegal because you didn't serve her alcohol. So how's it your fault? You might beat the charges in court, but you won't beat the $100,000 in lawyer's fees. Hey, life is not fair. Even though you avoid stupid places, stupid times, and stupid people, you may still have a violent encounter. In most countries, gun crimes are rare. You're probably going to be up against a knife. Guns are hard to come by in most countries and very expensive to acquire on the black market. It's not like Texas where everybody has a gun. In the YouTube comments section, you always have the same couple of comments regarding defense against a knife. For example, somebody always comments, "You can just run away." No, you can't run away, because while you're turning around to run away, you're going to get stabbed in the back. You also always see videos where Kung Fu masters show you how to block a knife stab and then counterpunch the assailant unconscious. Have you ever noticed that in those videos, the assailant always moves slower than the Kung Fu master? However, in real life, you're going to be the slower one. Criminals always pick victims who are slower, older, and weaker than themselves. Finally, you always have that commenter that says, "Bring a gun." A lot of those third world countries have that passport bros go to have life imprisonment or death penalty if you're caught with a gun. How are you going to buy a gun in a country that has no gun stores? Even if you can get a gun after you use it for self-defense, you end up with your neck on the local government's chopping block. That's not a good idea, man. So, if fancy karate moves don't work, you can't run away, and you don't have a gun, how are you supposed to defend yourself? 2 words. Improvised weapon. Turn a nearby ordinary item into a weapon. If you're indoors, one of the best improvised weapons is a sturdy chair. If you're using a chair as a weapon, make sure your strikes are quick with an equally fast retraction. If you don't pull your chair back after each strike, your assailant may grab your chair and pull it away from you. A chair is the best weapon because it can block knife stabs and slashes with it, and chairs are in every room indoors. If you're in your car, be aware of your surroundings. If you see 2 guys on a motorcycle, be prepared to duck, then run over the gunman on a motorcycle. Your car is the best improvised weapon in a carjacking. Never park directly in back of another car in the drive-thru lane. Always leave enough room between your car and the car in front of you to maneuver for an escape. If you're on foot, carry a metal can of wasp spray and a big metal flashlight. If your assailant has a gun or a knife, the flashlight or wasp spray will blind him temporarily so he can run away. If you cannot run away, you can use a flashlight and wasp spray can as an improvised blunt force strike weapon. Knowing martial arts is good, but make sure you learn a martial art that teaches the use of improvised weapons. I'm personally learning a combination of Muay Thai and Filipino knife fighting. I think real Krav Maga is superior to Filipino knife fighting because it includes gun disarms. However, all Krav Maga instructors in my area teach a tiered belt system in McDojos. None of them teach the original 2-week Israeli program. Krav Maga was an intensive 2-week program taught to Israeli soldiers, not a multi-year, multicolored belt program. Finally, I'm sick and tired of all the doofuses who say that the winner of a knife fight dies in the hospital while the loser dies at the scene. That's a lie. You know how I know that's a lie? I've been in a knife fight, and it did not end up in the hospital. I used an improvised weapon. A buddy and I just finished hiking in the mountains around. I went to fetch my truck and drove back to pick up my friend. As I was driving back, I saw my friend struggling with a guy wielding a huge kitchen knife. My friend kicked him into the street. My friend immediately jumped into my pickup and we drove away. We didn't report it to the police because they're criminals. The police often stop cars and ask for la multa, or a bribe. I may have unalived him, but I don't know, because this was decades ago, before there was an internet. Another thing you should be careful of is, do not piss off the locals. Always be polite and follow all local customs and laws. For example, Elliot Eastman was an American passport bro who went to the southern Muslim area of the Philippines. He fake converted to Islam so he could marry the local girl. He was not a real Muslim. He didn't pray 5 times a day, and he made money loan sharking, which is haram or forbidden under Sharia law. Elliot did not realize that if he converted to Islam, that makes him a subject of Sharia law. That's why the so-called kidnapping never had a ransom request. He was probably dragged off to Sharia court when he pulled out a machete, forcing the Sharia police to shoot him. Elliot is either dead from the gunshot wound or serving time in Sharia jail for his loan sharking. If you're in a Muslim area, don't drink alcohol, don't loan shark, and definitely don't flirt with the local women. Also, there's a concept in Asia of saving face. If you publicly shame someone, you will cause that person to lose face and he will feel obligated to unalive you. Never publicly shame anyone. If you have a complaint, tell that person in private. For example, if you're dating a girl in Asia, you know she's not a virgin because you slept with her. However, if anyone asks, you tell that person she's still a virgin. Otherwise, her father will unalive you for making his family lose face. Also, there's an old Asian saying, if you break someone's rice bowl, that person has a right to take your life. In other words, if you see a scammer, don't be a white knight and publicly call out the scammer. The scam is that person's means of feeding his family. That's his rice bowl. If you break his rice bowl, he'll unalive you. In Asia, you should never make a person lose face, and you should never break someone's rice bowl. Finally, you should learn the local language and blend in. Sound like a local and wear what the locals wear. If you can afford to, hire an interpreter. Most importantly, listen to your interpreter's suggestions. For example, one time, I was wandering the mountains of post-war Bosnia in an old VW when I smelled the most fragrant barbecue. I told my interpreter, "Hey, let's go in that restaurant." "No, it's not safe," she replied. My hungry stomach ignored her, and I followed my stomach inside the restaurant. A bunch of bearded guys wielding AK-47s eyeballed my American brand name clothing. "Are you American?" they growled. "No, me no America, me China," I replied. Yeah, I should have listened to my interpreter. Am I telling you not to go to third world countries so you could date beautiful women? No. I met and dated some of the most gorgeous women traveling to third world countries. I would do it all over again. It's worth the risk. However, be prepared and stay safe, my friends.